Hello, Richard from budgetguitarist.com. Today we're going to talk GFS pickups. Now, I've already shown you the GFS pickups in my Jagmaster, my Squier Jagmaster. Those were Alnico 2 pickups. I think those were around $39 a piece, which is a good bargain. Today I'm going to talk about the GFS Alnico 5 lower output single coil pickups. So the output here on these pickups is going to be somewhere between 5 and 6.5K. So they're lower output compared to like the Tex-Mex or the Texas Specials, right? So when I bought these pickups, they were in a different pick guard. So I bought a pre-wired pick guard. Now this is a really cool upgrade for your Strat. If you've got like a Squier Bullet and you want to up your game a little bit, you want to get some better pickups, but you don't really know how to use a soldering iron and you don't really want to spend a lot of money. Well, GFS pickups is for you then. What you get is you get a pick guard, you get all 3 knobs, and you get the 3 pickups, and everything is pre-wired. All you have to do is wire it to your ground and to your output jack, right? So that was a long time ago for these. I bought these 10 years ago, I want to say, for around $48 for this pre-wired pick guard. Guess what? It's 10 years later. I went to guitarfetish.com, which is the people who sell the pickups. It's the exact same price 10 years later. How can they do that? I don't know. Well, I do know. They're manufactured probably in Indonesia or China, and they can do it very cheaply. But I'll tell you what, Alnico 5 pickups preloaded in a pick guard where you don't have to do any soldering for only $50, that's a good deal. Here's the thing though, you really have to understand Strat pickups, right? So in general, if you've got Alnico 5 pickups, and Alnico 5 is basically referring to the type of magnet, the more winds of the wire around the magnet, right, the higher output the pickup is, and the higher output the pickup is, in general, you're going to lose a little bit of highs, you're going to lose a little bit of lows. It's going to be like fatter in the mid-range. So for a Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of overdriven thing, you don't want low wind Alnico 5 pickups like these guys. On the other hand, with the Texas Specials, anybody who owns them can tell you they're not exactly sparkly on the high end. They're not like super trebly. You can EQ them to sound that way, but really if you want a lot of like a bell-like tone and a lot of like crystalline high-end structure to your sound, then you want the lower wind Alnico 5 pickups. You just do. So if you're thinking about buying a pre-wired Strat pick guard and you're going over to GFS, just look at like the different kind of pickups they have. If it's lower output, that's going to mean really chimey. Maybe doesn't distort quite as well. And if you go with a higher output pickups, that's going to be your kind of crunchy pickups, like overdriven crunchy. It's going to excel at that. And you're not going to get like the crystalline high end. As you'll see in today's demo video, you can certainly distort these things, and I do. But I'm putting all my guitars through a HX Stomp. And quite frankly, it almost doesn't matter what pickups you put into the Stomp, because you can EQ it to make it sound like pretty good. I will tell you, these pickups don't sound as good driven, like with a lot of drive or overdrive on it. But clean, well, they sound better than the Texas Specials, which is why I keep this guitar around. These pickups were from a pre-wired pick guard. Well, that was a long time ago. The only thing I have left are the 3 pickups. So this pick guard came with this Squier. There were 3 volume knobs in it, or there were 3 knobs in it originally, 3 pots, volume, tone, tone. One of them was busted. I took it out. The treble pot is screwed up. It's kind of stuck all the way on. So I just haven't bothered to like rewire this thing correctly. The pickup switch works, everything works, but I can't turn the treble down, but I don't really care. At some point in time, I'll probably do a video on it. I'll probably take this thing apart. Today's guitar is the Squier 2 Stratocaster. Squier 2, it says by Fender. So this is an older Squier. It was made in Korea, which is usually a good sign. And the back of this neck is phenomenal. It does have quite a bit of gloss on it, but it is really smooth and really well shaped. The problem is, this is a really cheap guitar. So I bought it for, I think, $70 at the Orlando Guitar Convention. As you can see, or as you can imagine, it's really lightweight. The body is made out of plywood. So here's an interesting thing. Did Fender in Korea ever make Squiers with plywood bodies? I don't know the answer to that. But I do know this is definitely plywood, which means, because I bought it used, there's a decent chance that what I bought is a parts caster. The original body could be long gone, or maybe they really did make them out of plywood. Some people might say, what's the difference between swamp ash and plywood? It's all wood, it doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. Well, here's one difference. When you put, like, screws into plywood, if they go in and out a couple of times, the wood itself will kind of break down a hell of a lot easier. And that's why this thing doesn't have like strap buttons on it, because they just like pulled out at some point in time. Plywood is a crappy choice for a guitar body for that reason. It's fine if you put in a screw in it, as long as you don't take the screw out a bunch of times. Well, that's no good. So basically, yeah, this is it's a fairly good neck on a crap body with GFS pickups. But when it comes to nailing that high-end crystalline clean sound, this thing does a really good job, which is why I keep it around. The neck is great, the body's plywood, the pickups are GFS, and if you ever wanted to find out what GFS Alnico 5 low whine pickups sound like, they sound kind of like this. So there you go. That was this guitar right here through various settings on the HX Stomp in kind of a backing track that I slapped together. And yeah, I like it. It definitely does a thing when you distort it, right? It almost, it's not the kind of gainy sound I really like, but some people might really dig it. You know, it almost sounds like you're tearing the speaker cone, which that's not really my wheelhouse, but nonetheless I wanted to demonstrate it. And of course, if you put enough gain on it, then the whole thing smooths out and sustains. Like, put enough gain on anything and it'll pretty much sound like that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you again next Friday at 5.